Welcome to the Builders of Authority podcast, a show committed to helping you build authority for your brand. In the realm of business and personal branding, authority stands as a cornerstone. Authority isn't built overnight, it's built over time. So join us as we build something remarkable together. And now, here's your host, Adam McChesney.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Builders of Authority podcast. Quick reminder before we hop into today's episode that we are continuing to grow the Builders of Authority community online. Builders of Authority is committed to helping you become the authority in your industry with personal branding. We have our free Facebook group that you can join by typing in Builders of Authority in the search bar. In that group, there's daily content, live weekly trainings, and much more. We have our Builders of Authority Mastermind, which includes a private Facebook group, 3 live weekly trainings and sessions, access to our personal branding coaching course, and more. We have one-to-one personal branding coaching and consulting that's also available. Feel free to reach out to us at buildauthority.co or send me a DM on social media and let's have a conversation. Today, we have another in-person episode lined up for you. You may know him from his insanely popular Facebook group he created right as the pandemic started in 2020 called The End Is Near, So Let's Drink Beer. I actually remember I was just talking with a previous guest. I can't remember what member I was, but it was pretty early on. Yeah. He's one of the funniest people to follow online, and he's got one of the biggest hearts I've ever seen, always looking for ways to give back and support others. Today's the first time we actually met in person, although we've chatted back and forth over the last couple of years. I'm excited to get to know the guy behind a Facebook group with over 100,000 members. My guest today is Brandon McNamee. He is the owner of Mac Realty Group and probably more ventures I don't even know about. Brandon, welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me, and thank you for those kind words. That was very, very nice of you.
Oh, it's all real. It's all true. Well, that's why I say it.
Thank you, man. So you've been there since day one, huh?
Yeah, it was like my buddy sent me. I was thinking about it. So we were living in this really small condo over in Valley Park, and my buddy sends me a screenshot. He goes, "Dude, you have to join this group." Like all they're doing, because we were actually I am not happy about admitting this, but like we were drinking a bunch. Everybody was. But so we were literally taking doing the little videos of like us chugging beers, taking shots, and doing all this stuff. He's like, "There's a group for that already," and so it was probably first couple thousand members, but which at the time felt like you were one of the first members because it was growing so freaking quickly.
Yeah, dude. I think we had the first day was 3,000.
Okay.
And then it was like 25,000 within like a week or two. What the fuck is this?
That's insane.
Yeah, that was wild.
And how did that even come about?
Dude, I did beer reviews for a long time on Facebook. I was just bored in my house, a newborn, and I would just take little videos and just me drinking a beer, stupid 2-minute videos, and I'd post them. And then I don't know, man. I was just bored as fuck. Who wasn't? You know what I mean? We couldn't hang out with more than 10 people.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, we were just kind of like sending each other beer toasts and chugs and bored as shit at their own separate houses. And I was like, it'd be a lot easier if we just like did this and we could just all see it in not a group text because those are fucking annoying, but like an actual group on Facebook. So I thought it would be 100 of my friends. That's it, tops. And I thought 100 would be like, holy shit, there's no way there's gonna be that many of us in there doing this stupid shit. And it just fucking took off, man. It took off. Yeah, it was really cool. And then once it got to a certain point, I was like, all right, now you got to hone this in. It's kind of a responsibility to do something with.
Yeah. And so how has that like group like grown? Because like I know obviously like there's the podcast now. I've seen like product and clothes like events. Like talk to me a little bit about that.
I've kept it. We could have been a lot bigger, but I cut it to a private group because I wanted to keep that community feel. Yeah. I didn't want to be 1 million members where nobody knows anybody, where people are afraid to post shit. You can get to 1 million members if you keep it public because people will share it.
Yeah,
they'll share out to new audiences, and that's how you. I mean, really, I think that's how you grow your platforms is by people sharing to their audiences. You know what I mean? And I don't know. I just kind of cut it off, and we did the Tip the Bill challenge, which is over $1 million in posted receipts. Can't imagine how many it's at without that people haven't posted.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I kind of just, it's been nuts. It's just, dude, I've been shooting from the hip since day one, just doing what I think. Like if you see somebody needs help, like we'll do our best if we can. And we got certain days for certain shit. And we just try to promote the hell out of local small businesses and just kind of just winging it.
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
to be honest with you, there's no structured. I mean, I've kind of honed it into its vibe, but there's no like master plan behind the whole thing.
Yeah. I mean, like, people are, super loyal to whatever you guys are doing in there. They talk about it all the time. So it's really cool that, like, years later, we're talking almost 4 years ago now, that's still that way. And so I know you've done some stuff about the events and different things like that. Obviously, I assume as well, it's been helpful for your business too.
It has. I'm real careful about not spamming it and shit. Like, I could easily turn that into a Mac Realty group. Like, I could make it the cover photo, my business card. I could do all that shit, but I'm real careful not to do that.
Yeah.
But it has helped. It has it's helped.
Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
helped. And it's helped because in the beginning, when I first started real estate for years, I would take any client. I was like, I'll work with this lady who I would never vibe with in any fucking capacity. And I would be miserable doing it. And I would wear a suit and I would be careful with my F words.
Yeah.
But with this group of people, once I was just me, totally, like, this is who I am. Now I get to work with people that I want to work with.
Yeah.
People that are cool. People that I can say fuck around, or I can have a beer with at the closing table.
Yeah.
Like you've seen. You know what I mean?
Oh, no. Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
Those are my
and I
favorite.
have fun.
videos.
I love doing what I do a lot more now than I used to.
Yeah. And so, like, obviously you mentioned originally, like, hey, I wasn't planning on this being more than 100 people. And then it grew and then it grew and then it grew. From, like, a time capacity, how much time do you actually, like, spend doing anything related to the group?
In the beginning, it was rough, dude. It was a lot because in the beginning, engagement was a lot higher in the beginning because we were all locked down. Nobody was doing shit.
Yeah.
Like, everybody was like at home drinking beers at 8 a.m. every day because what the fuck else were they gonna do? So, I mean, we were averaging about 30,000 posts a month in that, which is millions of interactions, comments, a lot of shit. But we're about half that now or so, maybe a little less. But we're 4 years later, and we've kind of, everybody knows the vibe now. You know what I mean? We cut growth down, and people just kind of get it. Like, I don't have to monitor as much because I put in that time up front to create and establish the
standard.
This is what it is. This is what we do. This is what it is. Don't be like this. Do be like this. And people just seem to fall in line with it now.
Yeah. Well, the group kind of controls itself. Like, you just know what to do and what not to do. And if you can do it, when to do it.
Right, dude. The worst part is fucking these I don't even know who the hell these Indians fucking come in with their fake profiles. And they just, like, they'll make, like, the weirdest video ever. Like, there was one the other day where, like, this lady fell down and her vagina came out and, like, she landed on this guy who started playing it like a guitar, like the lip. I was like, what the fuck is this? What do they do this for?
Yeah.
So you got to watch out for those videos.
Yeah.
They're just fake profiles. But other than that, dude, it does kind of keeps itself. I mean, I got first of the month for GoFundMe's. We got 15th of the month for now hirings. We got whatever Wednesdays, which is, like, people do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Kind of just goes.
Yeah. And so you talk about, like, winging, I'm sure obviously, like, those are things that you're just like, hey, let's go test this out and see if it works.
Yeah.
What ended up, at what point did you realize, like, hey, this is something that, like, is going to need some of this structure, need some of that stuff? Like, was there a certain point or a certain aspect?
Well, I've always been a firm believer that with an audience, you have a responsibility automatically. You have an audience, you have a responsibility. Because you can do really good shit with that audience.
Yeah.
You can do anything with that audience.
Oh, yeah.
You can use it for negative or you can use it for positive.
Yeah.
And once I realized, okay, I have an audience now, which I'd never really had. I'd get like 100 likes on a Facebook post back in the day. And then all of a sudden I started this group, and I remember the first post that I ever made that was like, what the fuck, I got an audience now, was when somebody was dogging somebody for sobriety or something, and I made a post and I said, that is not going to fly in this group. If people decide they don't want to drink beer, they don't want to drink alcohol, they want to be sober, we fully support that here. And I made that really fucking crystal clear. And I ended up with like 1,000 likes within like an hour and a half, and I was like, what the fuck is this? I've never had that before.
Yeah.
So then I was like, all right, dude, you got a voice. You got to do you got to kind of hone it in and do something with it, or else, it's responsibility, I guess.
Just gonna
That's how
die.
I see it.
Well, that's how a lot of groups end up falling apart, right? Is because their responsibility is taken lightly, and or there's just a lack thereof to begin with. And so I'm sure, obviously, like you probably have stories for days of just like the most complete and utter chaos. And I've seen you like share, not obviously go into details, but be like, "Hey guys, we got to cut this shit out."
We had a dude jerking off. Remember, weed whacking? He called it last year. The guy was literally at 4:00 in the morning, goes live with a mason jar in front of him, and he's just beating off. And then he's like, "Do a little weed whacking for the ladies." I'm like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah,
you gotta be careful in the middle of the night.
yeah.
Shout out to Jeff Downing, our overnight moderator, though.
Okay.
He
So you've now, I mean, I assumed, obviously, I didn't really like do too much research, but I'm assuming you've built out like an admin team and all
for
that
sure.
stuff.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they're great. But they kind of ease back because I have really strict like kind of rules on. It's I don't know. I got a vibe that I'd like to keep, and sometimes the admins and moderators will get a little nervous about. Maybe I shouldn't delete that because Brandon, it's got high engagement. But they do a great job.
Yeah,
the admins and moderators, they do a great job. There's about 8 of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And so before this group, right? So you had your own realty group before that, or like talk to us a little bit about like your entrepreneurial journey, kind of leading up into this, and then after.
So I started in real estate in 2011. Had a 6-month-old daughter at the time or so. Yeah, and I went to Coldwell Banker for years, and I was kind of part-time in it for about 5 years. Then I went to Keller Williams for a couple years, and I just kind of always was with that mentality of being like everybody else with their shit, like the tie, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The bullshit. I'm 22 years old. I'm walking around with a tie. It was just like, that's nothing against people that are wearing ties and shit, but I don't know. I was just real stuck in the mold of, like I was telling you a minute ago, that you work with whoever, will work with you, and you just, open houses and calling expired listings and just shit that everybody else was doing that I just didn't make me happy. I did that for years. I was real careful. If you go back through my Facebook years ago, like back before 2018, when I finally broke out and said, fuck it. I was real reserved and shit. Like if I said fuck, it was with a PH. And I was just realized I wasn't happy with that. So I kind of broke out of my shell, and I said, you know what? I'm not happy with this. So I'm either going to try to do things my way and be me, or I'm going to quit this business. And it worked really well. And in 2018, about 6 months after I did that, I formed Mac Realty Group as a team, and I hired my first buyer's agent, Nick Brown, and he's with me now. He's my team leader of the whole brokerage. And then we kind of branched off a couple of years later to do our own. We just kind of grew, and we now have our own brokerage. Mac Realty Group is its own. I'm broker owner of that, and we have several agents. And yeah, we just have fun. We get things done as well.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a work hard, play hard mentality. It sounds like.
Yeah. But we enjoy the working hard too, though, because we're doing it with people that we want to work with, and people hire us. They already know our vibe. I mean, they found us on Facebook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They found us from a friend that worked with us before and knows that we get things done, but we're also having a good time while we do it. We're not your typical brokerage where it's like, not stuck up. We're not those old school agents that are going to be pushy, salesy, anything like that. We're here to have a good time with you and help you meet your goals. And that's just how we roll.
Yeah. And so would you say, you kind of mentioned like being able to work with your ideal client, and then versus working with the people that like you don't vibe with and don't want to, were you kind of already on that trajectory before this group, and then this group just allowed you to kind of do that?
Yeah. 2018, I broke out of my shell, and I said, I'm going to be me. And I'm going to be me publicly, and I'm going to be me to potential clients where in that arena. And I attracted all the right people for a change. And then 2 years later is when I started The End Is Near.
And then that's when I kind of just...
And it was just like, and I still don't market. I probably should market myself in there a lot more than I do. Yeah. I don't. I really should, because every time I do something, I get business off of it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, it's a good place to be at where you don't have to turn it into that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What would you say is like what's like the vibe or the experience that you have with like other agents that are that are just like the more non-traditional, or I guess more the traditional way, and you're over here kind of doing your thing? Have like, what's like the vibe like?
It's okay because we are professional.
Yeah.
We get our shit done and we know what we're doing, and we have really good relationships with a lot of agents around town. We've worked with them we're a top team.
Yeah.
We've worked with a lot of them before. They know our vibe. I'm friends with them on Facebook. Like I'm friends with people with agents on Facebook that are in their 70s that would never ever ever act like me. But then when we talk, they're like, "Hey, Brandon, hey, how you doing, man? Let's get this deal together. Let's do it," and everything works out great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, and we don't have any issues there at all.
That's awesome. What's like the biggest thing that you've learned from growing this group?
That people aren't that terrible. There's some shitty people. Like everybody always thinks like that. It's real easy to think that, man, most people suck. You'll hear people say that all the time. Most people suck. They really don't. They really don't. It's really easy to take like one negative person. One negative person can outweigh 1,000. Like if you're ever reading comments on like Facebook, and you'll have 1,000 people that are saying, "Hey, great job, Adam. Great job. Great job. Oh, hell yeah. I love this. I love this." And you're just like, cool. But then you'll see one guy that says, "Fuck that. That's stupid."
Yeah.
And you'll be like, "Oh," and you can't help but focus on that guy. You know what I mean? I think that I've learned that a lot of people, there's a lot more good people than there are bad people.
Yeah.
And these people come together, dude. I mean, millions raised for sick children, for out of work waiters and servers, bartenders. I mean, it's crazy to see it in real time. Like when somebody will message me and say, "Hey, my daughter was just diagnosed with cancer. I don't mean to bother you, but just wanted to bring it to your attention." And we go, boom, and I make a post, and 20 minutes later, there's $1,000 raised, 2,000 an hour later, and by the end of the day, 20 grand. It's like, fuck, and they do it anonymously too. That's crazy. People are good.
Yeah.
I think that's what I've learned most is people are good.
Well, I mean, I think that's just like a testament, obviously, to why the responsibility of what you built is so important, because and I've seen the fundraisers, I've seen all the different events you guys done that have lead back into fundraisers, and it's just like you tend to see at least, and go for the negative stuff, even if you just mentioned it, like the needle in the haystack. But I think that's what ultimately we need more of. And it's easy in a group of 100,000 plus people to, again, look at the one freaking little thing.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that that's the way we do that. But I think we're just living in this environment where people just think everybody sucks. It's going to we're going to get scammed.
Yeah.
All of the technology that's out there. And I wish more people would get exposed, I guess, probably to those things.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Agree 100%. People really aren't that bad. They really aren't that bad. It's really easy to focus on that one bad person, though, and that's all we see in the fucking news too.
Yeah.
You don't see a lot of cool shit. You don't see the who did this for that person, who bought this person's coffee behind them, and the fucking Dunkin' Donuts. You don't see that shit. You only see, oh, this guy did this, this lady did that. And so I think we're just like conditioned to just focus on the negative.
Oh yeah,
I think we're just
conditioning's the right. I think conditioning's the right word. Well, the world is teaching us what they want to teach us,
and it's negative. Every fucking bit of it.
Yeah.
And I think if you're a part of the End is Near group, you get a chance to see positive all the time.
Yeah.
And I love that, and it's all because of the members of that group. They're just somehow we got 120,000 awesome people in one place. Yeah. And I love that.
And I mean, I'm assuming obviously like a majority, or not a majority, I shouldn't say majority, like a lot, if there's a significant portion of that group, it's probably from St. Louis, like that outweighs, but there's people all over the world, I'm assuming, obviously.
Yeah. We have, it's predominantly the United States, and it's predominantly of the United States. It's Missouri, and it's of Missouri, it's predominantly St. Louis.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got Steph Mass in Australia. She's one of our big posters. I love that. We got Musa, dude's in Turkey. You know what I mean? Like we got a lot of people all over the place. I don't even know how the hell they got there.
Yeah.
And it's like, fuck. You live where?
Yeah.
It's cool though.
Yeah. What's like one of the craziest stories that like is actually good? I know you shared a couple of them, but like, didn't people like find each other and get married in the group?
Oh
too?
yeah,
like,
dude. We've got children born.
Like,
yeah, Lindsay Castle, Corey Casey had a baby a year ago. Chris and Katie got married. I mean, I've done weddings for people that I've met in the group. It's fucking crazy. Like, it's just that butterfly effect.
Yeah.
It's just nuts to think about. Like, if I didn't start this group in my kitchen one bored Saturday, there's certain people on the world that wouldn't be here. Like, it fucking trips me out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying like hey, I pat on the back, good job, Brandon. I'm just saying like it's weird to think about. Like that's real, and it's really weird to me.
Yeah.
It's really weird, but it's really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I know you talk, and kind of segueing a little bit, I know you have talked a lot about mental health and the mental health podcast and things like that. I can only imagine that running a group of this many people, the spotlight is obviously freaking always on you. Like, I see people take pictures of like you in public, and obviously you have no idea who they are. Yeah. I'm such a big believer in the mental health of not just like being an entrepreneur and seeing so many people struggle of like what's going on, but talk to me a little bit about like what this group has like done in terms of that, with the spotlight on you of all things.
Meaning,
sorry, like, has it affected mental health at all? Of being like, man, I'm trying to yes,
yeah,
like trying.
Yeah. Oh fuck yeah,
So,
yeah, oh yeah. For a while, yeah. I mean, I had to see a therapist for a little while, because and this has happened already today. Like, I could show you when I was walking in here. We do a lot of good things for people. The group does, and it's usually up to me to decide what we're doing. And a lot of people I can't get back to. I mean, I've had today alone probably 6 messages about, and 1 phone call when I was walking in, about helping with a GoFundMe. And it's like, I really do sympathize. I really, really do want to help. But if we did that every day, all day, nobody'd stick around, and we couldn't help anybody. You know what I mean? And I have to be the one. I'm not, no pity here. I'm not looking for any of that shit. But it does kind of fuck me up that I have to be the one to ignore somebody who just said, hey, my dad just died this morning. Can you help me raise some money for his funeral? And I can't respond to everybody with that. You know, sometimes I gotta not respond, and it really fucks me up. It really does. And I'm not trying, like I said, no pity. Please don't give me, I'm not looking for that.
Yeah.
But that can take a toll. That's probably the biggest thing. So I try to do the first of the month GoFundMe's. I'll cherry pick a couple throughout the month every now and then. I'll pick 4 events a year that we'll do or so. And it's always, I try to make the theme, it's for sick kids. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of what I want to hone in on.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just kind of, that's kind of tough.
Yeah.
That's kind of tough. And it weighs on me.
Yeah. I can only imagine, because again, it's like I only see this stuff from a distance, and like right now I'm going through a situation where like everybody's looking at me, and everybody is just like a couple of hundred people. Yeah. I can't even imagine of like hundreds of thousands of people where it's just like, okay, the spotlight's always on you, and even if you're like you have nothing to do with it, they still think it's you.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Oh, that sucks. Like yesterday, somebody posted I'm going to get political for a second, but somebody posted in the group Trump. And it was people arguing in a big fucking fight. And I'm super red, pro-Trump. My family's, I mean, that's where we're at. Sorry. But we have to have that deleted. You know what I mean? We just have to. And dude went off. I mean, fucking Brandon's fucking family is pro-Biden and all that. It's just like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
And it's just like, they think that because their post was deleted or something, that Brandon did it directly, and Brandon's a piece of shit, and they don't. I can't even imagine how many people hate me out there because of that shit. Yeah, I'm like, I didn't even see it. Yeah, sometimes, you know what I mean.
So, and this is kind of an interesting question as well, because it's like one thing I've struggled with recently is going from, and I know that there are people that like don't like me, and it is what it is, but like going from maybe it not being on a large scale of like, oh my gosh, but like I can only imagine the post or like the things or the comments like. Were you okay with people not liking you or your opinion before this group, and like how did that transition?
No, and anybody can go back, OGs especially, and see that every now and then I would post people and I would like fucking fry butthole pics, they called it. I would fucking fry. If somebody was terrible to me, I would fucking fry them.
Yeah.
And that wasn't right.
Yeah.
And that was because of my bruised ego at the time I fully own. And I wasn't good at that. I wasn't good at taking that rejection from random people. And it really did affect me. I've really grown out of that. I've really learned to handle it and deal with it and understand that most of the time it comes from a place of their own bullshit.
Yes.
And once you can learn that, it's easier to shake off when people are terrible to you.
Yeah.
As long as they're not hurting my fucking business or my family or me personally, like physically, it's what the fuck's it matter?
Yeah.
You know, I don't know that guy. If I was standing next to him in the grocery store, I wouldn't even know it was him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why would that bother me?
Yeah.
And I got to a better place there, and that's really helped.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that because, again, I can't imagine of just like, again, being in your own little world and then all of a sudden like being in the spotlight of that many people whenever essentially people wanted to put you in the spotlight.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I would never say like I'm a celebrity by any means. And there's people that got it way fucking worse than I do.
Yeah.
But that was that was a weird time.
Yeah. Do you go out in public in like pretty much large settings or restaurants or anything like that, and there's somebody that knows you?
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is okay because I don't mind that at all because, and I encourage people like, hey, you should come up and say what's up. Like, because we are, I see us as a beer family, as we call it. You know what I mean? Like we're homies. Like I might not know each other, but we're part of the same movement. We're part of the same community. You know what I mean? And I really welcome those people to say hi to, and I'd like to know them, and I like to talk to them.
Yeah.
It's nothing like fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. I don't have to wear a hat, you know, over my eyes or anything near that at all.
Yeah.
But it happens sometimes, and I don't mind it at all. I like it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What are your plans with the group? Anything differently than where it's going right now?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't know. I don't like I was telling you before. I don't have like a master plan by any means. It's just we're just going and keep doing what we're doing, and if it evolves, it evolves. I think we're gonna maybe be partnering up with Schlafly here soon, so hopefully we can do some really cool shit there.
Yeah.
But no, nothing in the works. I'd like to ramp up our events, do some events in South County and Jefferson County, maybe even Illinois.
I would appreciate the South County.
Yeah. I love it out there. I love like my wife's parents live in Arnold.
Okay.
I love it out there.
Yeah.
You said you're in Oakville?
Yeah,
I love
right,
Oakville. Right down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we have a huge, like a lot of our group members are Jefferson County.
Okay.
Lots of them. And I love those people out there.
Yeah, they're awesome.
I love those people out there.
Yeah.
So we need to do something out there soon.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But that's it.
When you're taking a look at just like the escalation of that group growing and just combining it with business and managing like multiple things, is there like, I know you talked about one of the lessons about just the people that not everybody's as negative or as bad, but like trying to manage all of those things at once. Was there any point where you're like, why am I still taking care of this group and putting so much time and energy into it when I really am not benefiting a whole lot from it?
Yeah, my wife said that before several times about like, especially, you know, in the first 3 years or so when I was really putting it, I mean, we were putting on events like crazy. We were doing meetups. We were doing mental health meetups. We were doing all sorts of shit. And it's tough to, it's easy to look at it and go, damn, what am I getting out of this? But whenever you see like, I've seen like the family out after we've done an event for them and their little girl is just like runs up and gives you a hug and the parents are like, look at you with straight up like, thank you. Thank you for the group that did this and the people. And you're just like, fuck, that was worth it. Look at them.
Yeah.
Like they're happy. They're doing all right. They were able to do this shit because of these people in this group. And it just, then you're like, all right, that brings you back to, this is why. This is why you keep going. Because sometimes I'll look at it and I'm like, fuck these motherfuckers. Like some of them, I'm like, why are they, like, come on, man. Like this person, like, and sometimes it comes in seasons where they're just like way heavy. And then you just remember that, look what those people are capable of. Yeah. Look at what this group can do for other people. Yeah. And that's cool. Yeah. And that reminds you.
Well, I can't even imagine the amount of notifications you get on your phone.
Dude, you've seen it? You've seen it?
I've been looking down.
I mean,
like, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That's Is that a charger on the back of your phone? I feel like it's got to be a.
No, that's a wallet.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that cool?
I was gonna say I feel like your phone's got to die all the time.
It's been going nonstop. Yeah. Even just sitting here, but yeah, dude, it's been a ride. It's been a ride, and I got to give all the props to the people of the group. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people will say, "Hey, Brandon, good job, dude. Look what fuck no." When they say it takes a village, dude, that's the most real thing you can say, because these people are fucking awesome.
Yeah.
They do it. Every one of them do it. They just, no problem, jump to a cause every time you say something about it. And I got to give all the love and the props to the members of the End is Near Celeste Drink Beer. Big time.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd change about what you did running the group?
I don't know. That's a really good question. Nobody's ever asked me that before. You're a good interviewer.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I would have capitalized more in the beginning on, not in the beginning, but maybe on more events. But those are a fucking pain in the ass. You know how it is. I would have put together probably a team that helped me with them instead of me putting them together.
That would have been.
You know how it is, man. Fucking, you got that one next week?
Yeah, next week, yeah.
It's a headache.
Yeah.
The venue, the
everything.
everything, yeah.
Yeah.
But I would have liked to do a lot more of those.
Yeah.
But I should have put together like a committee.
Yeah.
For them.
I'm sure you'd have people raising their hand.
We probably could have done a lot more. Yeah, we probably still could.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Well, this has been awesome, man. Any last pieces of advice, anything else that you'd like to share just about life, anything you've learned, the journey, anything like that?
No, not really. I just want to, again, thank all the members of the group. I don't get a chance to as often to just kind of shout out those group members. If you are a member of the End is Near Celeste Drink Beer, thank you for being there, and thank you for what you do, and thank you for always stepping up. Like I need to give them love way more than I do. But that's about it, man. I appreciate you having me on. I want to learn more about the Builders of Authority too. I got to link up with you and talk more about that.
Yeah, no, looking forward to it, man. Glad to finally meet in person, and excited about those South County events coming
Dude, yeah. I want to do what's that place? Johnny's Hideout.
Yeah.
It's not South. It's more Jefferson County.
Yeah, it's like right in Arnold.
I love
right
that
on
place.
there. Oh, it's a cool spot.
Yeah, I want to do something there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we'll do next.
Yeah. I'll be there, man. I'll be there.
Well,
Where can people stay connected with you online?
The End is Near Celeste Drink Beer. The right group. Make sure you look for the one with the
I'm sure there's
the high member count. The high member count, yeah. And then just Brandon McNamee on Facebook, or our podcast on YouTube at Beer Fam Podcast. Natty King page. I got a couple, mostly Facebook.
Yeah. Awesome, man.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, no, thanks again. And thank you to the audience for listening to today's episode. I'm excited to listen to this back. Brandon obviously is doing incredible things and continues to grow this group. Make sure to leave us a 5-star review, though, so that way you can get more people listening to this episode, learn from people just like Brandon. It's a big push for us this year. It moves the needle. And remember, authority isn't built overnight. It's built over time.
Thanks so much for tuning into this episode. We sure do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're subscribed to the show wherever you consume podcasts. This way you'll get notifications as new episodes become available. If you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. We sure do appreciate it. Until next time, friends.